Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Galloway and Isabel podcast. My name is Thomas Galloway. To my right,
Evan Isabel.
And Evan, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Got my LaCroix, so life is good.
LaCroix, anytime would be a good time to reach out to us. Okay?
I reached out to you, so.
Okay. We like to sponsor rants, too. So, like, if you have a rant, it's sponsored by LaCroix.
Yeah. Normally we try not to be desperate in our lives. It's never a good strategy, but this is one time where we're going to be a little desperate. LaCroix, we need you.
We need you, okay? LaCroix. I emailed you a while back, so please get back to me.
Check your email, LaCroix. Across from me,
Noah Galloway.
And Noah, how are you doing?
And like I mentioned a few weeks ago, I'm feeling flexible. I've been doing this yoga video on YouTube called Boho Beautiful, and it's this Hawaiian chick.
Very attractive.
No, blonde chick in Hawaii. Production quality, pretty incredible because it's on the beach.
You know what production quality means?
Production quality is all about that.
For sure.
Quality of production.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm feeling flexible.
So,
awesome.
Real quick, I don't want to make this too long.
No, it'd be good.
Is all this yoga getting in the way of your running?
A little bit, yeah. I'm feeling like I have to kind of squeeze in the runs.
Yeah, really?
In amongst the yoga sessions.
Squeeze in the 20-mile runs?
Oh, yeah.
20 miles? Who said anything about 20 miles?
Wait, I guess I did run 20 miles on Saturday.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
God, so I got to Ada Hayden around 9-ish. I was going to go for a run. Got back home at about 1 o'clock-ish.
Wow.
Yeah,
when did you start again?
Well, I arrived at Ada Hayden at about 9. And
how many hours is that?
It was like 2 or 3, give or take.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, what?
I'm just doing math. Don't mind me.
But yeah, I kind of lost track of time. It's like, it's kind of similar to like if I'm sitting down watching a Netflix special or something.
Oh wow.
It's a
your
parallel.
time is condensed.
Yeah, and so it just they're both kind of on the same wavelength.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And to my left,
Kate DeSola.
and Kate, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man.
Awesome. All right. That's how you answer. How are you doing? Someone asked me how I'm doing, okay?
How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm feeling 100% pimped out today.
Looking like a douche, too.
Looking like a douche.
Yeah.
That is the goal all the time. I have the shirt an appropriate amount of buttons buttoned. I am feeling good.
The appropriate amount is having
2.
less buttons.
Dude, honestly, that is, though. That is. Two is, bro.
Yeah, 2. You know, in fact, I'm feeling like it might be 1 too many.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to take off? Top
That's a good question. I think we should conduct a poll amongst the ladies.
Honestly, I think they'd be down to see some of that belly button with the hair around it.
I'm pretty sure my mom might be the only ladies.
I don't think you're going far
That's
enough.
not true.
I don't think you're going far enough, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
And can you hop up to show the audience your shorts?
My shorts? Oh, absolutely. Any day of the week. Everyone check this out.
So if you're listening to the podcast and not watching it, because we still have a listening.
That's true.
If you're not listening, if you are listening, Tommy's got on this beautiful black and white striped shirt. The stripes running up and down, and it matches perfectly with his shorts that go above, like halfway up his thigh.
Not high enough.
Not high enough. We need a little bit higher, please.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then the stripes are also running vertically, but these ones are blue and lighter blue.
And this is the image right here that we're all gonna post on our Instagram stories right here.
100%.
And if you need a frat boy starter pack, you just look at Thomas Galloway right now. You have it.
Frat boy started.
Which is funny because, dude, were you ever in a frat?
And you get some pictures.
No.
That's how frat you are.
That's how frat I am.
Bro, I'll stand up one more time.
Oh, absolutely, brother.
I gotta get the picture.
100%. Now, this is good podcast material.
Absolutely.
If there's any good podcast material, it's this.
100%.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, we're talking about length of shorts. You should squeeze those shorts in a little bit, make them a little tighter.
They're not tight enough, bro.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Never tight enough. Am I right?
You're right.
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do today is talk to our friend Dane about, get to know him a little bit, because this is one thing. We've done podcasts, obviously, with Evan, Noah, and I a lot. We know each each other pretty well. The audience knows us pretty well. And then we've done pods with Caden. Caden and I did a one-on-one podcast. We did some podcasts with Noah and Caden and I. So the audience knows us all pretty well. But what we're gonna do is do a podcast where we get to know Dane. Guess what Dane did tonight?
What did Dane do tonight, Tommy?
He did not show up.
What? No way.
So what do we need to do, Evan?
I think we should kill him.
I agree. Okay, so the beginning of the podcast is obviously dedicated to what is most effective and meaningful in sending a lesson type of way to anybody else who wants to ditch on our podcast. What is the best way to kill him? What's the best way to take care of him?
So there's this ancient method, and I'm not going to talk about which part of the world it came from because I can't remember right now. But there's this ancient method, and if you have weak stomachs, you can keep listening, buck up.
Yeah, buck up.
But anyway, they would take the skin off someone. They would rip open the skin, and they would stuff in hay, and then that's how you would slowly die. So that's my method.
So I don't want to spoil this book, but it's a pretty famous book, and there's a way that someone could die in this book. That's by far the worst possible way to die.
I know where you're going with this.
And I'm not. Let's just say I'm not a huge fan of rats.
Ooh.
So this one hypothetical. This is the most.
That's a controversial opinion
This is
right there.
the most visceral. This is the most visceral way to die, and I obviously wouldn't wish this upon Dane at all in any circumstance.
Except for this.
Except for this one right now.
And so you have a cage that wraps around the neck, and you put a couple of rats in the cage, and let's just say they have themselves a Thanksgiving.
Of you.
Of your
That's a brutal
noggin.
way to die.
Ooh.
That is
Yeah.
brutal.
You'll leave him there with no food, though.
Yeah.
You might as well recommend that book.
I don't want to spoil it or anything.
Oh, so they don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
They can't know.
Should I say it?
Just say it, yeah.
It's 1984.
Oh, I know this book.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
I was watching a James Bond film, and this dude, the villain in this James Bond, I can't remember which one it was, but he was talking about how, his mom or something would take a bunch of rats,
Yeah.
and she would put them in a barrel, and just leave them there, and eventually they get so hungry that they eat themselves, and then by the time they all got to the last one, there's only one standing.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what happened to that last one. Oh yeah, and this is how they would get rid of the ants or the
Rats?
mice.
Right.
Yeah, they would put them all in the barrel. Eventually, they'd all eat each other.
And then there's one that
There's one left, and that one has learned to eat mice. And then they'd set that one free, and it'd go around and eat all the mice.
Wow.
I bet that guy was
wow.
so jacked.
So we should get a bunch of Danes together, put them in a barrel, and then whichever Dane survives is the Dane that's going to go around eating other Danes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be wild.
Alternate universes, bro.
This is what I suggest. Okay, these are all great ideas. I'm just spitballing. We're brainstorming. If there's one topic that is a profitable brainstorm, this is it. This is important.
We're going to make some money.
Yeah, this is what I would do. I would have someone very close to him present him with some ice cream. Okay,
Right.
and he's sitting on the couch. His very special acquaintance is giving him some ice cream. I'm behind the couch, just chilling. Right as he's about to have a little bit of ice cream, I slit his throat
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you do this?
to kill him.
Okay, but are you trying to... I thought the goal was to kill him without, going to jail.
Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm going to law school.
Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. That
Problem
makes
solved.
sense. Wait, are we killing him tonight or what?
ASAP.
ASAP.
Yeah,
So I have
as soon as possible.
I have a
I thought it was just a
scenario.
rapper.
I have a scenario. So I think we can all agree that Dane doesn't exactly have the best mustache. So
Not quite like this bad boy.
yeah, not
Right.
I don't know if we should be talking bad about Dane right now behind his back.
So
Yeah, we can kill him.
I
but
propose-
do not attack the facial hair.
Yeah.
What I propose is get some sort of facial hair enhancement cream that you put on the right here, and then you put a little bit of poison in there, and naturally, one would lick their lips occasionally.
Occasionally.
So they would.
Yeah.
That poison would slip in the mouth, down the throat,
Dead.
gone.
Gone.
Almost instantly, within 28 days.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Dane, we brought this out. It's not an accident, not a coincidence. We have my lock picking set. You are never safe.
No matter how many doors you lock, no many locks, no matter how many locks you have
In front of you.
in front of you, we will pick them.
Yeah, look how many locks picking sets there are here. Okay?
We have a lot.
We have a lot,
basically.
okay? And in the meantime, we'll be practicing with this transparent lock from Amazon. And we'll be ready to go. So you're never safe.
So
You're never safe.
after we unlock all the doors, how do you, like, when you see Dane in the flesh? How do you, like, what do you do then?
Well, first,
do you
whenever I
feel
see
now?
Dane, I give him a bro hug. So I
Yeah,
have to give
bro
him a
hug.
bro hug first.
Bunch of bro hugs,
Yeah.
no matter what our intentions.
Or bro hug. Take a knife.
Boom.
Right in the back.
Back
A
of the neck.
little Daenerys Jon Snow action. Roasted Game of Thrones fans who haven't seen it yet.
Or like
about
a
to
real
drop that.
historical
I was about to
fact,
drop
like
that.
the Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar,
We could
yeah.
Julius Caesar him.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be tight.
Wait, what happened?
Right.
Julius Caesar, he was like the emperor of
Emperor of
Rome, right? And there was like all these senators that were like, "Yo, this dude is not chill.
yeah.
This dude has no chill.
No chill.
In fact,
Yeah.
no chill so much that we should all sign a contract to kill him." And then they did.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about how I just ruined Game of Thrones.
You?
Yeah.
Good. I wasn't listening though, so
Yeah.
It's okay.
I was just trying to figure out how I was going to explain the Caesar thing.
Et tu, Brute?
Et
Isn't
tu,
that
Brute.
Et tu, Brute?
And that explanation was brought to you by LaCroix.
Oh,
Yeah, LaCroix.
Wine.
Yeah.
Sparkling water.
We still have some bubbly apple in there.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else about this? How we're gonna teach Dane a lesson.
You guys know about curb stomping?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen American History X?
Yeah.
No.
One of the most vicious curb stomps ever that I've seen in a American film.
Really?
Yeah, but it's pretty brutal. What were you going to say about curb stomping?
We could.
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
Okay, let's talk about our ancestors and where they come from.
Okay.
And we could talk about I don't know. So my ancestors are from UK, right? UK and
Nice.
Ireland.
I didn't know that. I honestly didn't.
You did?
No.
Yeah. I did a DNA test,
Nice.
and I am.
What did you use? 23andMe.
I did Ancestry.com,
Nice.
and I know that there might be some flaws with the results. Like, some guy told me that maybe the results might just be showing my dad's side of things.
Yeah.
But at least I know that I have a large amount of UK blood. And so I'm thinking, what is the most British way to kill someone?
Oh, I like. Okay, this full circle. I was wondering where you're going with this. Well, I've watched a couple episodes of what's that show that?
Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, I don't remember how anybody was killed in that show, but they definitely have people being killed. Do you remember anything in particular?
Yeah, so the Peaky Blinders is one of my all-time favorite shows, and it's about a British gang.
You had the right haircut, by the way.
Yeah, I got the perfect haircut.
Absolutely.
And then they're in Birmingham, which is like a very industrialized area of Britain. Mm-hmm. And so there's this gang, and they all wear these caps.
Yeah.
Now, what makes the caps so special is that in those caps, they have razor blades. And so if someone's messing with the gang, they take their hat and they take it off and they slap you with it, but there's some razor blades inside.
Yeah.
And so you can get dead.
Is it those type of the straight razors you could shave with also?
Yeah.
Those are pretty awesome. At some point, originally, that was my goal to someday shave with a straight razor. I have a safety razor in there, which not a bad idea for Dane.
Ooh, safety razor.
Yeah, safety razor.
But you
Obviously, he won't need it for his mustache.
How would your ancestors have killed?
Okay,
Dane?
we should just might as well go through our ancestry while we're at it. Okay, so just I believe so one grandma was complete German, 100% German. So we're 25% German.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We are like 25% Irish, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm
then-
also 25% Irish.
I'm Irish.
Yeah.
Dude.
You're Irish?
Dude, tight.
We're all Irish. Yes.
Yeah, that means we are killers.
We are.
That's all that means.
Oh, what's his name? Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor,
Yeah, so like our grandma, she was like in a house in kind of like in the area where World War II was happening. So apparently there were bombs that were going off nearby.
Yeah, she had a dud bomb land in her backyard in World War II.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they left for a period of time and then I think came back and then somebody was already living in their house and then the government or whoever said that like they had to like share it with them or something.
Wow.
And then eventually they were going to be shipped off to either Russia or the US. And the people that were going to Russia were going to go to concentration camps. And the people that were going to the US were going to have like a pretty solid life. Just get to do whatever they want. And then the people and like it was kind of 50-50. So it was just chance which train they would get on to, like from Russia or US. Unfortunately, my grandma's family, they ended up on the U.S. train.
That's really fortunate.
Yeah, she was a baller.
Wait,
Yeah.
so even the people that weren't Jews or that Hitler like didn't want to kill, if they got on the wrong train, they go to concentration camps?
It was like the Russians' version of concentration camps. I don't know if it's like, it wasn't like as bad as like the Jewish concentration camps.
quite.
It was just like a camp because like the Russians were not very good to any of like Germans or anybody they encountered.
Mm-hmm.
So you went someplace that wasn't good basically. I don't know if it was like straight up concentration camp, but it was
Probably
a bad
Large
place,
percentage,
yeah.
I think,
Like,
right there.
they're
And
really
can you
bad.
imagine just sitting there, having to go through that, like not knowing which way, and it's like 50-50 shot.
Yeah. So to use our heritage of Nazis, how they would kill people. We all know how they did that. So
Yeah.
So Dane, watch out.
Watch out, Dane.
I think I would say that's probably like the Germans would be our biggest like part of us.
Do you guys have Italian too? Because I got Italian.
Italian?
You got Italian?
So you have
that?
so yeah, tell us about your ancestry.
So I got Irish, American, Brazilian. I'm pretty sure Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So like you're straight up half Brazilian then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half
So-
American, half Brazilian.
Brazilian in the sense of like native Brazilian, like indigenous to Brazil, or like because Brazilian could mean like European or like a lot of other things.
Like my dad is from Brazil.
Mhm.
Like he was born in Brazil. So
Yeah.
probably.
But like there was like colonialization, so like
oh yeah.
you know
so,
what I mean?
Yeah. So I think if I'm getting this right, my dad's parents came there from Italy, or their parents came there to Brazil from Italy. Well, it's one of the two.
Cool.
And so, yeah,
Nice.
set it up.
Yeah.
Brazilians.
So Dane, watch out.
What's up, Dane?
Yeah.
This is a little bit off topic. This is kind of a rabbit.
That's fine. I
/
think
bunny
we're
hole.
basically done with this part anyway.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I was thinking about like the predator kingdom. I was thinking about the animals that it's just so unfair that this individual animal is like in a pack compared to say a mountain lion that roams
Yeah.
alone. So I was thinking like wolves, like they could be absolute killers on their own,
Yeah,
but like they're together in a pack of multiple other
it's
wolves.
OP.
So it just seems so unfair for everybody else.
All those other animals.
Yeah, and then taking this to the water. An orca, like that.
Yeah.
It lives with a bunch of other orcas. Like that thing could be a complete destroyer by itself, but they are
I think killer whales are my favorite animals.
right.
I think they've had a lot of confusion because they're dolphins, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But killer whales is kind of confusing.
Right.
So killer whales are dolphins.
They're definitely not whales. They're either sharks or
Not whales,
dolphins.
yeah. Which is weird.
So
It's
orca is like their official name. I don't know how many people know orcas are killer whales.
I didn't know that.
if you guys would like to tell us about anything, we would like to know how many of you knew orcas were killer whales.
How many of you are orca experts? And
Yeah.
also, how many of you are orcas?
That would be nice to know also.
How many orcas watch our show?
And how do orcas prefer iPhones or Androids?
Good question.
And then I was thinking about, so there's also orcas are super smart. So like one scenario, there's this dog, maybe it was a seal, I'm not sure which one it was. It's a dog or a seal anyway. But it was on an ice patch, and like it was just like the orcas were just tipping the ice patch up and down. It was just like it was buoyant in the ocean.
Is that weird animal fact?
And and so like it was just
You forgot about that, didn't you?
what?
Keep going with your story. I have something separate.
No, I kind of had wrapped it up, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're just trying to kill that dog.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, so it was either a dog or a seal, yeah. Or
Okay. So, last week we were going to recommend like a show or movie or something. Like I was like you guys like before at the beginning of our podcast.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot.
Hey, it's cool. But I want to give my recommendation to the people. Do you have anything to recommend?
You go first and I'll think.
Okay.
I made a list. I remember what you're talking about.
TV show?
TV show or album or anything.
So like Night Flash?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
once we want to do every podcast, we all recommend something that we've been listening to or reading or whatever. And I have something for you guys. I have the album by Lucky Day. The album's name is
It's okay.
Paint It. Is at least one of the songs.
Painted or Paint It?
It's Painted, yes.
Paint
One of the
It.
songs is called Paint It, and that's the song that's up here.
By who?
My internet's not working. I was a little bit confused. By Lucky Day, Day spelled D-A-Y-E. It's very groovy, funk, very puts you in a great mood all the time. Sometimes I can get a little into whatever I'm doing, get a little too focused, get a little too serious about stuff. This puts me in a great mood, relaxes me. The album is Painted by Lucky Day. It's a R&B album for sure, but definitely a little groove to it. So check that out. That is my recommendation of the week. Does anybody else have something?
My recommendations, I remembered what you were talking about, and I had a list made for this, in fact. And
Awesome.
in fact, my show that I was going to recommend was Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, boy.
My album is Hasta la Raíz by Natalia Lafourcade.
Nice.
And it's a really good Spanish album if you're studying Spanish or you just like really good music. Check it out. And then Ann Patchett, State of Wonder is my book that I would
Nice.
like to recommend. It's a beautiful book, a wonderful adventure. The character actually goes to Brazil, to the rainforest, and my actors that I would love to hang out with, because you mentioned that, Noah Galloway messaged me and he's like, think of some actors you'd like to hang out with. I said Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, and Harrison Ford.
Good calls. Yeah.
So my guy I'd like to hang out is Anthony Jeselnik. So he has a podcast called the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. And so Jeselnik, his comedy, let me describe it to you. He walks around, he's super smug, and he's kind of a slithering prick. He walks around, he's really arrogant. He just kind of prowls around. He barely ever smiles during his comedy. And it's not like he's trying to make you laugh, he's just saying funny things. It's like sometimes comedians will go over the top trying to make you laugh, but this guy doesn't. He's a great writer, and he's if there's one guy I like to listen to for multiple hours each day for the rest of my life, it's Anthony Jeselnik.
Anthony Jeselnik.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your thing you want to recommend, album or book or piece of content, basically?
The Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project, the
Podcast.
podcast that I just recommended.
I didn't know you were recommending it. I thought you were talking about who you want to hang out with. All right, okay, what you got?
I got two. So I got a book and a TV show. The TV show, it's a little creepy, but why it's just why are you? You'll just have to go look it up yourself because I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's pretty creepy, but it's interesting at the same time.
Right.
And then for the book, it's called The Wisdom of Psychopaths. And I'll pull up who it's by.
I've also got a book to recommend to people. It's called Cherry by Nico Walker. and he claims it's fiction, but it seems to be basically an autobiographical novel. Like he was in Iraq. He then came back and had PTSD and got addicted to heroin, a bunch of other drugs, and then started robbing banks. And right now he's in jail for 11 years, and he wrote this novel in jail. And like I said, he claims it's fiction, but it seems like it's really close to his life. He may have put in some parts there, and that's why he's calling it fiction.
Right.
But it's incredible. I just finished it, Cherry by Nico Walker.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's really, I mean, when talking about fiction and nonfiction books, it's kind of important. Like, if you elaborate on your life, it's good that he put it as that, because there's been some scandals with authors that are like, oh, this is my life.
Right.
And it's like, this is not your life.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, the first page, the only thing that's on the first page is, this is a work of fiction. Mm-hmm. He's very clear about that.
Yeah, I'd like to recommend the pretty famous book by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. And he was a Navy SEAL. He went through 3 hell weeks, and then he became an ultra marathon runner, and he would compete in the Badwater 135, which is a 135-mile race in Death Valley, and the temperature, the low at night, it's about 114 degrees. And so yeah, it's just really inspirational. And he talks about, like, when we think we're finished, when we think we've given everything we've had, he thinks that we've only given about 40% of what we can actually give.
Wow.
And so that's really inspired me to do my long jogs. And so yeah.
Wait, how long are your jogs again?
About 20 miles.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, so the book, The Wisdom of Psychopaths, that's by Kevin Dutton. I think that's how you pronounce it. But
Spell that for him real quick.
Dutton.
Nice.
Kevin Dutton.
So everyone check that out. Yeah, I think I think people are always looking for a piece of content, whether it's music, movies, shows, books, to check out. And if they like the podcast, there's a good chance they're gonna like the same things we like,
Right.
and are gonna enjoy this stuff we're throwing out there. So
For real.
we'll try to do this every week, where we always have at least one thing that we can recommend for the people.
Fair enough.
That we can
Right.
start it off with the podcast next time instead of forgetting.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're rolling along pretty good here, but I want to talk about one more thing before we finish up, and that is the show that we just watched a couple clips from. It's called Golden Balls, and this is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So this is a show based on Prisoner's Dilemma, which is a part of game theory, which is used in economics a lot. It's a psychological theory, sometimes maybe used in philosophy, but it's very common in economics. It's usually an economics course is game theory. And part of game theory is Prisoner's Dilemma, and part of Prisoner's Dilemma is this show, which is a game show they did in the UK, and they've done other versions of it other places, but it's pretty simple. So you have 2 contestants, and you have a certain amount of money, so say £100,000, because this was based in the UK. And so if you say it's Evan and I, and then we would talk to each other for a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, and we each have an option. We have the option to click or to open a ball that has split or steal. If we both decide to split the money, then we will obviously split the money. If one of us decides to steal the money and the other person splits, the person who steals gets all of the money, and vice versa, obviously. If we both choose to steal the money, then nobody gets anything. And all of these decisions we finally make are private, so the other person doesn't know what they're doing. We basically have to convince each other to pick whatever we want the other person to pick. Mm-hmm. So in this show, there's a couple really famous examples. If you type in Golden Balls, which is kind of a weird name of a show, but they use golden balls to pick, like the decisions are in a ball that's golden.
It's the UK.
It's UK. It's a little tacky. I don't get it, but whatever. We're gonna go with it. And yeah, type in Golden Balls into YouTube. The first 2 clips are really interesting. You can watch them. But in these situations, they were trying to convince each other to split the money, and it's pretty crazy. We can kind of go into depth of what they did specifically, but
Right.
I was curious what your guys' strategies in this game would be.
Well, based on what I saw, my strategy had completely changed. So can I talk about my new strategy or my before strategy?
Both.
So before, I really don't know what I would have done. I probably would have just been like, yo, dude, I think it's obviously smarter if we both do split. Something like that. Mm-hmm. But after seeing what we saw a video where a man was convincing the other person that he wasn't going to split, but rather he was going to steal the other person's prize, which means that he was saying, hey, after the show, like, Noah, you're with me. You're playing this game with me. He's like, Noah, I'm going to steal.
Okay.
So you know that I'm stealing. What's going to happen is I'm going to steal. Mm-hmm. If you choose steal, we're both losing. Right. That's 100%. Mm-hmm. But if you choose to say split, then I'm going to get all the money. But after the show, I promise I will split it with you.
Right.
And he spent like the next 5 minutes convincing the other person that this is what his plan was. His plan was, I am going to steal the money.
Right.
And afterwards, we'll split it.
Right.
And after I saw this, I'm like, I kind of realize what this guy's doing, because this guy doesn't seem like this kind of guy that would do that type of thing.
Right.
And so what happened was he convinced the other guy that this was his plan, and then when it came time, instead of stealing the money, he split it.
Right.
And it was really cool.
It was crazy. Yeah,
cool.
He got to the point where the person across from him believed that there was no way that if he got steal that he would actually get the full amount. Mm-hmm. So he just had to go split. That was his best case scenario.
Right.
And then they ended up splitting it. It was really crazy.
It's crazy.
And then the other one was just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guy was like, he's like, hey, I know you're gonna split it, or like he had this emotional interaction. It was this kind of like maybe 40-year-old guy that's balding, and this young girl that's maybe 29, and she's like, I saw all that emotion, and I believe that you're gonna split it. I know you're gonna split it, and I'll split it with you. And then like she just completely stabs him in the back. Doesn't really care.
No, that was crazy, and his head was down like the entire time.
Crying.
They're going to commercial, they're ending the show and everything, and his head's on there.
Well, he lost 50,000.
He did lose 50,000.
Yeah, 50,000 pounds, which is like maybe like $55,000.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't really know what I'd do. I mean, well, okay, so let's just break this down for a second. If you steal, you're either getting nothing or the max amount. And you also have the chance of looking like a jerk. Mm-hmm. Whereas you split, which means you're either obviously splitting the money or you're not getting anything, which means that you're either a good guy or you're the guy that got taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. So it's either zero or half or zero or all of it. So I think according to the prisoner's dilemma in game theory, they would say you should be stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, because
but then you're with other persons, you have the opportunity to read them. Mm-hmm. But I think the like if you were to put this in a vacuum and like the people who were saying like if put this in a diagram or statistics or whatever, they would say you should be stealing every time. I think.
I think with the prisoner's dilemma, there's 3 options.
There's more to it. Yeah. I was trying to think if they were like how different they were, because so prisoner's dilemma. It's kind of weird to explain this. You're probably better off just Googling it and looking at Google Images because they have these nice charts. But, I don't know, do you want... Well, let's just explain the prisoner dilemma. Who cares? Okay, so we're in a situation, say Evan and I rob a bank, and the police have a certain amount of evidence, but not all the evidence they want. So they're trying to get one of us to confess.
They have enough evidence to at least put us away for 1 year.
Exactly, yeah. So if we both confess, we get 1 year in prison.
5 years.
5 years in prison, sorry. If we both confess, we get 5 years in prison. If neither one of us confess, we get 1 year in prison. If Evan confesses, he gets, and I don't, he gets 0 and I get 10, and then vice versa. So in that scenario, if you confess, you're either getting 0 or 5. And if you don't confess, you're either getting 1 or 10. Mm-hmm. So in that situation, in prisoner's dilemma, and I know this for a fact, that the people who created this basically said you should always be confessing. Unless for some reason you have really strong evidence and you know the person really well. So say I knew Evan really well and I knew that he was not going to confess. Yeah. Or I knew he was. Like say if I didn't know him really well, I should always be confessing. Right. And trying to go for 0 or 5 instead of 1 or 10. But yeah, this is a little different because you only have 3 options instead of 4.
Yeah.
It's either none, half, or all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely try to persuade them to split it and then steal it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not look like a complete fool on live TV.
Then a jerk.
A
You know, like a
complete
jerk.
I'd rather look like a
Yeah.
jerk
Yeah.
and not be the guy who goes like,
Yeah. Because that's embarrassing. That's so
it is
embarrassing.
embarrassing, yeah.
Getting
Complete
played is the
humiliation.
absolute worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen like we saw like the saddest example and like the most extreme example, because that one where the guy really pulls all those mind tricks, that was rare. Like, I don't know how many times they did this game, but I read this in a psychology book about this game, and they presented that one as being like an extreme example that never really happened. So I'd like to see, first of all, I could see how the show could get kind of boring. Like, I think there's a reason they stopped doing it, because you kind of do the same thing over and over again. Well,
There's only so many things you can do.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining after that one guy did that brilliant trick,
Everybody tried it.
everyone's like, "Hey, I'm gonna steal," and they're like, "Okay, yeah, I'm down. You steal, and we'll split it after the show." And then that person steals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I would like to see a few more of those videos. But as far as my strategy, yeah, I think I would do what Noah's saying. I would try to get them to split
Right.
and then steal it. I wonder how that girl felt after doing. One thing I was a little confused about is it seemed like you don't necessarily get the money right away. It seemed like you have to be in a certain amount of times.
Right.
So you just carry forward whatever you had or something like that. Because in the example where the guy did the amazing trick or like the mind tricks or whatever, they were talking about like you guys have built up this certain amount of money or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know how much incentive it is to. I would still steal, but it's a little more complicated.
I would just say, like, I would let the other guy make his point first and be like, okay, and then big steal every time.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
think
wouldn't
that's
even
what.
try to do it. I just big steal every time.
Yeah, I think even though there's less options than Prisoner's Dilemma, I think they would. I think you'd probably still want to steal.
But the thing is, like, depending on who you're going against,
Yeah, that's true.
because like if you go against someone that's like, this guy's probably gonna steal. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do if you know the other guy's gonna steal? Like
And you steal and you walk away with nothing.
Yeah.
Because I would rather walk away with nothing, or walk away with 100, than 50. Like I would. Okay. It's
Well, if
kinda
you know they're
absurd,
going to
but
steal, you're getting
I would-
0 either way.
Yeah. I would rather get 0 or 100
Fair
than
enough.
get half.
It would really depend on who I was. Yeah, if it
It's
was
all
like
or nothing, pretty much.
yeah, if it was like an elderly person or something, I wouldn't be as like okay. If it was some like person that looked just like me, like a complete douchebag,
Yeah.
I would not want that person to rip me off. In that situation, I would definitely be doing steal. But if it was like an old person and I happened to pick split and they did steal and they got the money, like obviously it still suck. But I wouldn't be like, oh, they ripped me off. Like, I'll be fine. Like, it was just an old person who, But if it was someone else who seemed like also like a douche, then I definitely want to almost that person.
Fair enough.
I feel like an old lady ripping off this young, hot shot
That would be funny.
would spread pretty easily across
That
the
would
web.
be
It would be,
golden.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
Oh, you're saying that person would be. Oh, you're saying that I'd be more embarrassed because more people would see me getting ripped off. But it'd be like kind of endearing. It'd be like, oh, the old lady took advantage of young, strapping dude.
And so now, anytime you are with an old person, everybody else is just gonna make fun of you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, then I'll just steal. Fine, whatever. You convince me.
Steal from an old woman.
Yeah, steal from a woman. No big deal. Noah convinced me to steal from
Yeah.
a woman. Okay, anybody have anything else on this stuff? We're rolling along. We're basically 40 minutes. That's a good podcast.
That's pretty solid.
Especially when our main content source is not here.
Wow. What a ghost.
Yeah. Well, for Thomas Galloway,
Evan Isabel.
Noah Galloway.
Great to Silva.
everyone, have a great night.